Good afternoon, everybody. So today's Mind Zoom session continues what we started last week to really practice in a new situation with coronavirus interrupting our lives, and this poses a new challenge to us. So my name is Sabina, who hasn't participated last week and the Mind Zoom sessions before. But I like to also hear from you, and maybe each one of you can send a greeting through our Zoom chat so that we all can also hear from you. So type in and welcome. Maybe a little welcome message. So for us, it is about adjusting to new conditions, to the corona that has become part of our life. So there's an uncertainty and also a stress level in the air. It means also profound changes for some of us who have now to work at home at our computers, being disconnected from the campus community, and the routine in our life has also changed quite a bit. For example, in my case, I'm not commuting to campus, and that means also in the mornings I don't have to compete for parking on one of the busy parking lots at UF. So for me, this means I get my shower and coffee and go straight to work. Quite different, quite different. And there are other things that I also miss. For example, having a little chat with a colleague in the hallway, or just meeting a student and catching up for what's up in terms of the newest research results. So these type of social interactions are also missing from our lives, because now we have to set up Zoom sessions and links, and don't misplace the link. And our life has also been organized around video conferencing and communicating online. So this is life in the corona pandemic, but for us, we are dealing also with changes and proclivity for safety, maybe control or desires. How can we accept this new situation just as it is? And I recall here one of my mindfulness teachers saying, well, life or rain is just what it is. Rain is just as it is. So how can we accept rain? Not rain as, I don't like rain because I might become wet, or I don't need rain right now because I don't have an umbrella. So here it's about acceptance and opening to what is. And I think we are all really challenged in the situation we are in to deal with the acceptance of changes that are happening in our life. So, acceptance. That's the topic of today's session. So as a person, we can be outraged at a crisis or injustice or mismanagement or social media posts that we might not like related to this crisis. But acceptance does not mean complacency or just giving up. So we can accept something while at the same time trying to make it better, or maybe to approach it in a different way. So in that sense, acceptance, which is part of mindfulness practice, can also strengthen how we relate to life. So let's imagine, for example, a big house with many different rooms. One room might be, for example, ignorance or vulnerability or the critical mind or fact-based thinking. Another room might be openness. Whatever these different rooms in our household, we can accept them, we can judge them, or we can push them away. So this is truly the choices that we can make. But keep in mind that shutting the doors to these rooms, in essence, locking us out, would also mean that we don't have access to them. We cannot experience them. And with that, also, we lose some of our liveliness and pleasure and joy in life. So the point of accepting what's inside is to also, in essence, have more influence over these different rooms, not less. And for today's practice of acceptance, I have 3 small practices that we can do in succession. The first practice is quite simple. I invite you to find an object, an ordinary object in your room where you are at. And you can switch on also the webcam if you have one and show your object to us. I brought here one object and I hope you can see it. That's a sand timer. It can be an object like a pen or a book. So it can be something quite simple. And let's everybody find a small object, quite ordinary object. All right. So you can either give feedback in the chat if you found your object or show it to us. I see here a pen and notebook. That's great. I love it. So let's see that everybody has found their object. No, yeah, okay. I see it. Great. And toothbrush. Oh, that is cute. Very nice. I like it. So whatever your object is, just place it in front of you so that you can look at it. And what we do in this first practice is we connect with our object. And we do this mindfully by looking at the colors of our chosen object, the texture. We can touch the object and feel its temperature. Is it cold or is it hot? And sense any feelings that arise in your space. How do you feel looking at this innocent, ordinary object? If you notice any judgment, Let it go. Accept the object just as it is. We experience the object fully and marinate in this feeling of acceptance and okayness. Because really, there's no threat, there's nothing that causes alarm. It just is this beautiful, innocent object. It may be neutral to you. So let's sit with our object for just few moments longer. Feel your breath. Feel any sensations or emotions. And dwell in this feeling of acceptance. This object and you just are, and they are both okay. Now let us move into the second part of practice. And I invite you to bring a good friend to mind, or your child, a partner, a person that is close to you. So, what are the different aspects of this person? Explore what it's like to accept these aspects of your friend, your child, or your partner. See if you feel soothed and calm. Are you at ease? Try to accept what you are experiencing. Don't push things away, because all doors to all rooms in your house are open. If any judgments come up about this friend or your child or your beloved partner, can you accept them too? Perhaps try saying mentally, I accept this thought. I accept this pain. I accept that I'm grateful to know that person. If you note any resistance, experience that resistance. Accept that there is resistance, and that is okay too. Be aware of the different parts of yourself, ones you like, and also those parts that you don't like as much. Perhaps you like to name them. There's a part that enjoys sweets, a part that is lonely, a part that is critical, a part that feels young, a part that wants love and safety. Remember, all these parts are only parts of a big, big house. If a part is too difficult, you can stick to the easier ones. For example, I accept the part of me that leaves the dishes in the sink. We can do that. Feel if there's any softening inside. An opening to bring all these different parts together. It's okay. This is what self-acceptance looks like. Sink deeply into this self-acceptance as it sinks into you. Let's stay with this for one more moment. And now, if you like, you can stay with this practice, or you might choose to bring some aspect of the corona crisis to your mind. Perhaps some fear to stay healthy, or a feeling of being deprived of social connectedness. But stick to one aspect only. Bring gentleness and acceptance to any feelings that dwell up. Breathe mindfully and don't turn away, because you know deep down that rain is just rain. You can build on the self-acceptance you experienced previously with the innocent object or with your friend. Sink into this acceptance as it sinks into you. Let's stay with it for one moment longer. And breathe gently in and out. come back to the here and now. Look around. Might open your eyes if you had them closed. So I unmuted the tool so you can provide some feedback if you like of this experience, or type anything you want to share in our chat box, because I'm curious how this practice really worked for you. You might also switch your webcam on if you want to say anything.
Hey, Sabina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Samira.
It always helps me just to take a moment like this, 20-30 minutes, just to de-stress and put
Mm-hmm.
everything in perspective. I think we're all facing a global crisis, and it's good to have a restful, relaxed mind and not panic and not be too stressed out,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end, it will be okay for everyone, I believe.
Yeah, that's great what you say. I like also this, yeah, it will be okay for us. And we have to also connect to that part in us that says, yeah, it will be okay. Thank you. Was this practice very challenging and difficult for some of you?
I can share if nobody wants to share.
Yes, sure. Go for it.
No, I was just gonna say, the difficult thing is when you talked about bringing the stress from the coronavirus and focus on one thing that you might be feeling, and that sense of fear, not just for yourself but for your loved ones, is very real, and that's what is, and it also, brings it to keep it in perspective.
Yeah,
So yeah.
it's true. It's not only about us. And I think we feel that very vividly now. It's also about our loved ones, our friends, our partners, our children, and the whole community. So we are all in the same boat. And I think sometimes we forget about this, but now it's just there, very present. Mm. And that can be beautiful and really fearful too at the same time. And often we have conflicting feelings that also can arise. But practice can also help us to harmonize those different feelings. And even if they are paradoxical, to bring things together and really come back again and again to this feeling also of okayness that really helps us also to ground, very similar to the practice that we did last week. Mm.
I would like to share
Yes.
too about the first practice.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I choose my notebook. In this notebook, I make notes of my PhD research,
Mm.
and I am studying here in UF with Sabine. I'm from Brazil, so I realize how many feelings and judgment I have in this notebook.
Mm.
And I didn't realize before there is so charge of tension about this, because I have this fears about everything that's going on, and I put this in perspective that it's just a notebook. It's just is hard, you know, is hard to realize how judgment I am about everything that's going on in my life, in the world, and also is hard to think about one thing and pay attention in each one of these different feelings. Afraid of by my parents in Brazil, afraid of my health here, and how this affect our lives. So thankful for this section.
Oh, thank you for sharing. Mm. It's very real for us. Mm. Mm. Now we can bring this practice also into our daily life to practice it daily in the mornings or evenings or lunchtime, whenever you find also time to also, in particular, when feelings of a little bit feeling edgy or feeling fearful about the future and the uncertainty comes up, these are the moments to also connect back to this okayness, this acceptance. And maybe this mantra helps. Rain is just rain, right? It's just
Right.
rain. And that reminds us also back to sometimes we are blowing things up out of proportion and making things worse, seem worse than they are, vice versa. So I like to finish this practice with an little contemplation prayer that we can bring out into the community. And this is a line that we can, I speak it first, and then we can also speak it all together. So I will unmute us all. It goes like this. May I feel well and healthy. May you feel well and healthy. May our families and everybody in the UF community feel well and healthy. And may all feel well and healthy. And we can speak this together. So I will unmute us if this is working. Okay, I see those that have microphones are unmuted now. And let's say it together. And it may sound a little bit mumbled up, and that's okay, right? Let's get started. May I feel well and healthy. And you can chime in if you want to.
May I
May
feel
I
well and
feel well
healthy.
and healthy.
May you feel well and healthy.
May
May
you
you
feel well
feel
and
well
healthy.
and healthy.
May our families and the UF community feel well and healthy.
May
May
our
our families and
families
the
and
UF
UF
community feel
community
well and
feel
healthy.
well and healthy.
May all feel well and healthy.
May
May
all
all feel
be
well
well and
and
healthy.
healthy.
Thank you so much. I'll see
Thank you so much.
you next time, next Wednesday at 3.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Yeah.